Hello and welcome to another Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 demonstration flight. Today I'm sitting in a simulation of a Cessna 172 at the threshold of 18 at Wellesbourne, with the intention of carrying out a couple of instrument approaches into Gloucester. Now, like the real Ghost Sky, this aircraft is fitted with a GNS 530, which I've already set up for an RMP approach into Gloucester's runway 27. So let's get airborne. Once we're established on track, I'll show you what I'm planning to do. Once we've passed Loxley, I'll turn right onto a heading of about 240 until we can intersect the desired track, which is about 225. We'll climb to about 3,000 feet initially. Right, commencing the turn now to 240. So here we are, nicely established on the desired track of about 230 at 3,500 feet. It's a pretty murky day out, but I've managed to find some clear air on top, so that's good. Right, so the first approach we're going to make is an RMP approach into Gloucester's runway 27. We'll start the approach at the LAPQ initial approach fix at 2,500 feet. From there we'll track 175 degrees to the Nurmu intermediate fix, then turn right here onto 265 degrees. At this point we should intercept the localizer and commence our initial descent down to 2,000 feet with a rate of descent at this speed which will be between 600 and 700 feet per minute. On reaching the top of the descent at Bravo Juliet 27 Foxtrot, we should intercept the glide slope and commence our final descent to the minimum descent altitude of 600 feet. However, as an IMC rated pilot, I'm advised to add 200 feet to this, so we'll continue down to 800 feet and then hold this altitude to the missed approach point at the Gloucester NDB, which is Golf Sierra Tango. The missed approach procedure is to climb out on the runway heading to 1,500 feet, then commence a rate 1 turn back to the Gloucester NDB at 2,800 feet or as directed. From there we'll commence the ILS approach procedure for runway 27, but I'll come back to that later. So now we're approaching the LAPQ initial approach fix. I'm descending down to 2,500 feet. And turn left now onto a heading of 175 degrees. Okay, 2,500 feet, 175. Few holes in the cloud, but still pretty murky. Now we're approaching the intermediate fix, so now we turn right on a heading of 265 degrees. We overshot slightly, so we'll just come a little bit further right, so we pull the localizer back in. And we can now commence the descent to 2,000 feet. Back onto the track of 265. Right, coming to the top of the descent, glide slope's coming down, so now we'll reduce the throttle, commence the descent of about 600 feet per minute, I would guess. Nicely established on the glide slope, a little bit high, coming to the right a bit, letting it drift. Right, there's about 1,000 feet to go. And the runway's inside. So we'll come down to 800 feet and then we'll level off at 800 feet and continue on there to the missed approach point. Right, for the next part we're going to need to identify the NDB, so listen to that. Sorry, wrong one. Okay, identified, and then we want to identify the also identified. Okay, well we're overhead now, so now we'll commence the missed approach. Continuing on the runway heading, initially to 1,500 feet. Coming up to 1500 feet now, so now we commence a right brake, one turn to the right, and now we're watching for the CDI needle, which is right down at the bottom there. Oops. Okay, watching that to swing back. Turn up. Okay, so we're now heading back to the Gloucester NDB. We're then going to commence the ILS approach, initially by tracking outwards on 096 degrees to DME 8. We'll then do a left-hand turn back onto the approach and do the ILS approach back onto runway 27. And all being well, we'll try and make a landing. So we're now at 2,800 feet, so we'll level off at that. We're now over the NDB, so we'll now turn right onto a heading of 096. Okay, got that. Going a bit far out. Right, now we need to switch on to the vlog. So we're now picking up the okay, the DME is now 8, so now we'll commence a fairly gentle left turn, because I think we've gone quite a long way south. At the same time, we'll continue the descent not below 2,000 feet. Right, the glide slope is coming in, but the localizer shows we're still far off to the left, but that should come in very shortly. The localizer is coming in now, so now we can come back onto the track. About 265, I believe. Start the descent. Oh, we're still way off to the left. Right, a localizer's coming in now. Still high. Feet to go. Heights globes coming back on. Right. Localizer's pretty good. A little bit off to the right, come left a little bit. Still above glide slope. And the runway's inside. Drop speed, drop off. Two stages of flap. Full flap. Crossing the M5. Flaps up. And runways vacated. So bye for now.